What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, of course, and I can't lie, after watching Superman, this is my review. This will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go out and see the movie. If you need my quick non-spoiler thoughts, the movie is excellent. This is what I wanted in a Superman movie. This made me... I need to apologize to James Gunn. Hey, you cooked, bro. You cooked, bro. The gun was loaded. The gun wasn't jammed. Hashtag the gun had a switch on it, alright? Hey, James Gunn had it. He had the thing on him. I ain't gonna hold him. I had my doubts. I was a little bit concerned. I was like, yo, I was a bit nervous. You go back and check the footage. Okay, I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong, okay? I'm an adult male that can sit there and say, hey, I made mistakes. I'm not one of these weirdos online that base their entire personality off of streamers. So, as a grown adult, I can sit here and admit this movie was fire, even though I was already hyped for the movie. Y'all know this. I even made a whole video reacting to the trailer, being hyped and all that stuff like that. There were so many times, I went to go see this with my girl. There were so many times watching this movie that my girl had to physically, when Superman was in the chair getting healed by the sunlight and he was screaming, ah! I saw this in the Adobe XL theater or whatever, the biggest screen could fly near me. There were so many scenes that my girl had to be like, yo, you gotta chill. I was like, ah! I had to sit up. I was like, listen, we was in recliner chairs. I almost had to put my feet down. I was like, wait a minute, we had to lock in. We had to lock out. Come on now. What are we doing? There's three scenes. It's the bridge saving scene where he's floating under the smoke, and y'all seen that in the trailer. Alright. And it's not really smoke. All the stuff I'm gonna say right now is in the trailer. When he floats out of the smoke and you see him, and then another one after I guess you say the finale fight or whatever, where it's also in the trailer where he floats, where he spins around and you see the cape flapping in the background. That, oh my god, those shots are beautiful. But this is now me going into spoilers. Go see this movie. I highly recommend it. I cannot give more praise to it. I do have some gripes, but they're all minuscule and can be corrected in future films. So, in terms of that, I am excited to see where this universe goes. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do for Batman, because I don't think Robert Pattinson will be Batman, because this universe is way too fantastical to have a realistic, watered down Batman. You know what I mean? Like, watching Corn Sweat Superman, you can see, like, in Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, you can see Nicholas Holt being in a purple and green power suit trying to fight Superman. I can see Superman teaming up with Nightwing. I can see the episode, like, where it's like, what was it, World's Finest? It's in the animated series where Batman goes missing and Robin is trying to protect Gotham because Batman is gone. And and Superman shows up and helps him and pretends to be Batman. I can see Cornswap doing that. I can see that episode being in live action. I can't see Robert Pattinson Batman being best friends with the Superman. Not because he doesn't have the acting chops. It's because the character itself is so grounded and realistic that there's no possible way you can sit there and tell me that, hey, they're going to just slide this movie is just in the universe now, and it makes any sense. Especially when metahumans has been around for... and it says in the story like 300 years or so, like that, right? If that's the case, then like no one should be surprised about anything that's happening in Gotham. But they're over here freaking out about basically a serial killer. You know what I mean? Where it's like, bro, we have people who can make stuff out of the thin air in a screaming Hulk girl. I think we should be okay. You know what I mean? But that's my only thing is I'm excited. I don't think I wish. It kind of sucks because if you're going for the older Batman, I kind of want them to have the same age range. Because, like, this Superman is in his 30s. Like, his early 30s. It was like 30 years ago Superman arrived on this planet, right? So he has to be early 30s. You will need a Batman in his early 30s. And if you're doing Damian Wayne is more of like a very older seasoned Batman. And I want Batman and Superman to be best friends. You know what I mean? I want it to be where it's like, okay, he could call up, they could have the whole banter of like the World's Finest where, they can go on double dates and stuff like that. I don't think I can see a older grizzled Batman hanging around with the Superman because of how, how different age-wise it would be in terms of that to make sense. Because he'll be on his fourth Robin by then. And you're telling me, let's say, even if you do like in the span of 10 years, like he had Dick Grayson when he was 20, right? And then when he's 40, he has the fourth Robin. That means you would do 4 Robins in 10 years. I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? Because by the time you get to Damian Wayne, you need to have a Nightwing that's like way older that's like a grown man himself, and I don't know how you could fit all that in without having Batman a way older than the current Superman. But that's something that they have to figure out. I'm not James Gunn. I do have faith in this universe. There are some things I still have gripes with, but in terms of the movie itself, this movie was excellent. This is a great reset for what I need DCU's Superman to be. This blows Man of Steel at the water, and I don't care what anyone says. People were still clutching their pearls, holding on to Man of Steel is the best Superman movie. If the movie was that good, we would have had a sequel. Like, come on now, like, what are we doing here? Like people love saying that. Oh my God, Man of Steel can't be touched. Oh my God, the whole Snyderverse is untouchable. And people, it was universally loved, and the studio is the one that killed it. If that was the case, it would have made a lot more money, and we would have been on the third Superman movie by now. Like, there's a reason why, even when the universe was going, there was no Superman Man of Steel sequel, because, I'm sorry, the movie wasn't that good. Like, I don't want to turn this into a DCU versus DCEU, but when people are still, like, I'm listening to reviews of the movie to see what people are saying about the movie, see if I share the same critique. Maybe I was buzzed when I see these things, and everyone is agreeing. Oh, this is kind of like one of the better Superman movies that we got in a long time. You know, it's way better than Superman Returns by far. And only thing that Robinson is the Christopher Reeve Superman. Which, if you like the original Christopher Reeve Superman, I'm not going to sit here and debate you on it. I'm one of those, but it's like, it's a toss-up. Depending on the day, I can watch either one and I still enjoy it, because it's like, it gets certain things about the character right. That I do love. I like how they handled Superman's parents on Krypton better in the Christopher Reeve Superman than they did in this one. But this is one of the things where they can explain it better in a sequel, where it's like, oh, it's not the fact that the footage is fake, it's the fact that it was edited. Whereas like they didn't really say that, and that's why it sounded that way. You know what I mean? Because I don't like the way they did that. And another reason why I feel like they should bring it up in like a sequel or address it in the Supergirl movie and stuff like that is because Supergirl was there on Krypton. Like, she knows if the footage was real or doctored or not or whatever. And the fact that Superman doesn't ask her any questions about, hey, did my parents really send me here to take over the planet, or what was our race really about? The fact that he doesn't ask those questions at all, and she just comes, picks up Krypton, and dips out. It's like, I would like to ask these questions, because it's like, that's a big deal if, you know, she's from this race that's here to slave the planet. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing to have a discussion about. I feel like they doubled down on it being real and then just didn't address it at the end. And it's like, well, he's kind of moved on now. He has the Kent now. It's like, no, I want to see what his thought process is, like him actually thinking about that, you know what I mean, him talking to Supergirl since Supergirl was there, because now it's like, well, Supergirl's just chill with it, you know what I mean? Was it only a House of L thing? Was it every Kryptonian? There's so many more questions I have, but I feel like they have to address it, because it doesn't make any sense for Supergirl to just be prancing around and then boom, oh, you know, I don't have, you know, this whole thing has been going on this entire time, and I just didn't tell you about it, you know? Or it's a thing where she damaged the footage, so he wouldn't know, whatever. Like, I need them to address that. But in terms of what I said earlier, in terms of making Superman the Superman that we want and we need in this universe for it to work, and to set itself apart as just like a reset, like this is what Superman is, this did a perfect version of it, and it blows the past few Superman out of the water. Like, outside of, you can say Superman and Lois, people really like that one. I didn't really watch the show outside of like a few episodes. That's how to a more like season, I guess, like a lot season one. But this one is like, in terms of an introduction to the character, many people who probably haven't seen Superman in years, or kids' first time watching Superman, this is a perfect introduction. Man of Steel, that depressing slog of a movie that is, it's not even close, bro. Like, what are we doing here? The action was great. I see what another gripe that I had with the movie is. It was very obvious that James Gunn, while making this film, had a list of complaints he knew people were going to bring up. So he addressed it. He addressed like, oh my God, how does Clark Kent identity get away with just wearing glasses? Even though you could explain that Clark Kent is such of a good enough actor that it tricks anyone. Like literally, like, explain it this way. Man, I feel like my coworker in customer service, I feel like in his off days, he puts on a jersey, he could play for the Denver Nuggets. I think he's Russell Westbrook. You know how insane that sounds? Like, yeah, you see that coworker over there that is shy, doesn't talk to people? I feel like he could throw trucks and shoot laser beams out of his hand. You know how insane that sounds? That's why his disguise works, because no one believes it. Same thing with Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's like, are you telling me this guy who gets drunk every night and shaking ass in the club is out there in the middle of the night in a bat costume? Be for real, bro. Like, that's what they, you don't have to explain it with the whole hypno glasses. That's what I hated. I hated that, and I hated Superman's the footage is real and they wanted him to take over the planet because you're doing the whole thing like Brightburn did and Homelander did, where if Superman landed in any other family except the Kents, that he would have turned into a fear-mongering dictator that takes over the planet. It's like, it's so tiring, bro. Because the reason why Superman is great is because he's a man of both worlds with a heart of gold. That's what makes Superman Superman. You know what I mean? It's not the Kents are the real reason why. Same thing with my problem with the Snyderverse, where if it wasn't for Lois Lane, Superman would have been evil. It's like, what are we doing here? That's stupid. I like Jimmy Olsen. I like the whole thing of him being a sex symbol. I really want, if they do make, because there are rumors of making a Jimmy Olsen TV show. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Someone made the perfect tweet. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But they were like, get the people who made regular show and just have them do that show with Jimmy Olsen, where he ends up in the most insane situations, like the comic book of The Adventures of Jimmy Olsen, where he ends up in wacky situations with other DC characters. I would love that so much. That would be hilarious. Guy Gardner still the show. Nathan Fillion was amazing. I was one of those who had issues with Nathan Fillion not being Hal Jordan, but seeing his Guy Gardner, it was great. I didn't have any, he proved me wrong. Mr. Terrific was fantastic. That was amazing. I like it. Some people had complaints about how he sounded like he was from the 70s, but it was cool. And the fact that he's becoming a meme, and the fact that people are like want to know more about Mr. Terrific is so cool. I wish Hulk Girl had more to do. She was bad for no reason, respectfully. And the Justice League, I love how we have the whole of Justice now, and I hope the Justice League is like just a crazy lineup that you wouldn't expect. Like, what if it's like Superman, Batman, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner is the Green Lantern with like John Stewart, right? And then you have Hulk Girl, Hawkman, like Captain Atom, like these crazy like group, like the Justice League is not the traditional group, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh my god, like I wouldn't expect this, like the cartoons where it's like, that's the thing I love about the Superman. This Superman feels like it was ripped from the animated series, where like you could have different movies where like he will be interacting with a different DCU character and it would just fit, because he's just that type of character where it's like he's welcoming and he's not gonna try to fight any hero that he disagrees with, which was a problem with Batman v Superman, where he's like, oh, he got disagreement with Batman, he's tossed him across a building, you know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here? I can see him and let's say Jonah Hex going on a wacky adventure, and that could be Superman 2 or whatever, or him pairing up with another C-list superhero and that being a thing. You know what I mean? I think that'd be so cool. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I highly recommend it. If I could add anything else, I wish Superman kind of gets his ass beat for the entire film. That's what kind of brought up earlier, where like I feel like James kind of had a list of things that people complain about like, oh, the disguise doesn't work. He's always invincible. He always wins. It doesn't make any sense. And like he's unbeatable. You know what I mean? And you talk about how you wanted to make a weaker Superman, but he kind of made one of the most overpowered Supermans there is in the history of medium. Like, he's doing some feats here that kind of blows every other Superman in live action out of the water in terms of feats. Like, he's mopping the floor with Man of Steel Superman. Let's be honest here. But those are my thoughts. Let me know down below what y'all think. Did y'all like the movie? If y'all would critique it or change anything, what would it be? And I'm out of here. Peace.